Alright, hello. This tutorial is going to be a bus route relations tutorial inside of JOSM. So I'm going to be looking at two different examples, one where there's a bus route that's not been created at all, and then one where I want to edit an already created bus route and just clean it up. So at first what we're going to do is look at a bus route, and I'm going to be opening up the OpenStreetMaps Carto. And there's a bus route that is occurring in Houghton, Michigan, where the information is found here on the Michigan Tech University website. And this is the bus route that I'm going to be adding. So I have a series of buses or bus stops, and it comes around and goes in a loop. It starts at the Memorial Union building every 30 minutes on the 15-minute intervals. What I'm going to do is first download the OSM data in this region. Click the download button to download all of this data and start at the Memorial Union building, which is right here. And as you can see, if I take this opacity down so you can actually see what's happening, there's a bus stop that's already here, but there are a lot of other bus stops that have not been created, and the relation of this bus route has not been created at all. So if I want to create a relation, what I can do is press this preset transport public transport button and click the public transport route bus. So this window comes up that's setting the parameters, and just the one that I'm going to type in real quick is bus, and these information you can add in later. But in our case, real quick, what I can do is this is the City Commuter Shuttle. This is the name. There is no reference. The reference number would be the bus number. That's part of the city, but there is no other bus in this city, so it's just a City Commuter Shuttle. And I'm just going to save that off, and you can see that the name value has been filled in for whatever you've put there. If you wanted to add a value, say ref, and say bus route 60, you can put that in right there, but there is no ref, so I'm just going to delete that and remove this data. Okay, to start the relations, what you have to do is click on a way, which hopefully is part of a road for buses, and you would have them appear in the selection window. And if you want to insert it into your relation, what you would do is click one of these buttons right here. So if you were to click this one right here, it doesn't do much at all. Like, these buttons have been pushed into the members role. But say you are on another route, so you want to click right here and you want to add this into the next bus route. You have different options where you can put it at the end of whatever your member list is. You can put it at the beginning of the member list. You can put it before the selection that you currently have or after the selection you currently have. So in this case, I would want to do the selection below it. If you want to click multiple in a row, what you can do is shift click, or click once and then shift click to connect multiple in a row. And as you can see, you have multiple selections, and I want to insert them at the very bottom. And there are now a bunch of series of nodes and ways that are connected inside this relation. Inside the relation itself, on the right of these member lists, you can see that there are these red dots. These correspond to gaps in your relation. The reason for this is that if you are selecting both of these at the same time, you can see that the Hubble Street right here is not starting where the East Houghton Avenue is finishing. So there's a mistake in the node connections between the two. So the way to fix this is you can click on this node right here where you want to split this Hubble Street into two different connections. If you press P, you'll have a pop-up window, which this might be a new thing. It did not happen before when I've been working on this before, but this pop-up window is saying which one you want to use as the history of the previous Hubble Street if anyone was referencing this exact node. So in this case, I'm just going to do the second one, and I don't really believe there's much of an issue with this, so I'm just going to say do not show again. Also because I'm not going to be uploading this data, so I just don't want to have this window popping up every single time. In the case of this East Houghton Ave, what I want to do is start my relation right at where this bus stop is occurring. So I want to insert a node inside this East Houghton Avenue way. So there's two ways you can do this. You can click on this plus button and click and drag it over, and now you've created another node inside this way. Or if you don't want to do this, press Ctrl Z to undo this. You can press the A button or this menu over here and draw a node on top of this East Houghton Ave, and then press Escape to remove that. And then you want to press S or the selection or move to move it around again. So we're just going to line it up to where it looks pretty flat. And then I'm going to select this node, press P, and it'll split in half for us. So for our members, I don't want any of these because I don't know what's happening in here, so I'm just going to delete all of this and start again. So I'm going to select East Houghton Ave and then Hubble Street, and then I want to select this right here. Now this Townsend Drive is not connecting up again, but I don't want to have to reselect all of these nodes. It's really not a big deal just because there's two nodes right now, but if you were selecting say 20 nodes and you click on one extra thing, you hold down Control and then click, and this way has now been deselected. Then you can insert those two ways into your relation. Come down to Townsend Drive where you want to split, press P and split it in half, and now you can continue on your selection menu. In our case, what's happening is the bus route is going all the way through College Avenue and then onto the highway. So we're going to just keep on clicking and shift clicking all the way down and selecting the way all the way onto College Avenue or US 41. In our case, this is pretty long, so this way splits into a one-way right here, so the bus just continues on. Just going to select. We're now at the Upper Loop, so we're just going to keep on selecting the route that I know. And this goes a decently long way. And alright, so this node that this way I've selected is too long because I know that the bus is going inside the stop sign right here and into this marketplace. So I want to Control click right there to deselect it. Come over here, push all of these nodes into these ways into the member of our relations. And then I'm going to come here and press P to split this in half and then push that onto there. If I want to see how much I've selected, what I can do is zoom all the way out, select all of these, and now I can see the path that I have created. We're going to continue on here. The bus goes down in this direction and wraps around into the parking lot. So I need to split this point right here. So I'm going to click here, push it over. I'm going to split right here as well, and I'm just going to hover over my mouse to see where the selection is. So this one is too long as well, so I'm going to split right here. comes down to the stop sign right here to West Sharon Ave. I'm going to split right there, and we're getting onto the street light right here. This needs to split as well because the bus is then going down again. So in my case right now, say I've done all of this and I forget where I'm at when I'm mapping out the bus. I can right click onto Park Avenue, this last one, and click zoom to, and I can now know exactly where I was left off at. So click on here, shift click them over, and continue on our way. And I'm going to not click here because I know that this extends way far out. Push down, and we're going to, it's not the end of the world to do that because I can just control click and remove it, but I just didn't want to have to do that again. We're going to come to this bus stoplight, press P to split it in half, and then insert another node right there. We're going to keep on our way, and now the bus route, actually the bus route goes down in this other direction and then wraps around again, I believe. No, I am correct. The bus route's going in this direction. Okay. So I'm going to click right here, and then click right here, and the bus is stopping right here and then wraps around the parking lot and comes back around again. And now I can't select this section twice. You have to, I don't know why, but you can only push in one at a time. So if I were to say go in a circle and then wrap around and use the same road twice, JOSM will yell at you a little bit to say that you're using the same road twice. Are you sure you want to do this? And in my case, yeah, I do want to because I'm going in a circle. Right now, what I want to do is select this little section right here, but I've already pushed this into my members. So it's what I'm going to do when I split this in half. I've now created a broken section inside my bus route. So if I come down onto here and see what's going on, you can see on the right of our members little toolbox, you can see that this route is looking a bit weird. It's got a loop in here and a split. So if I just tab down and push the down arrow to see what's going on, you can see that there's a gap right here. And so I'm just going to click this gap that I created purposefully and insert below the one I have selected. So now if I want to verify that this is all good, push the down arrow and see that this is the bus route that's actually being taken. We'll click right here. We know that the bus goes in this direction and it goes over here, but I want to select this, but it's too long for me. So this is a pop-up saying that I've selected this little section twice. Do I really want to do this? Yes, I want to do that. It is fine. If I deselect, you can see that this duplicate node has been selected twice and it's highlighted in red. If I were to select something, it shows up as green, the one that I have selected. So that's your way of telling or figuring out what you have selected. Either way, we're going to continue on. We're going to split our node in half, come up here, and we're going down this, I believe it's called Razorback Drive. So we want to continue on, but West Sharon Ave needs to be split, so we're going to push our nodes into here, split it in half, and then come along here, and then work our way back up onto Memorial Avenue, or Memorial Drive. Yep, we're using the same road again, so that's all fine. And at this point, I kind of lost where I was at, so we're going to zoom to. So, the bus route, according to this map, is going through 6th Avenue and then continues on this route right here. This is East Houghton Ave, I believe. West Houghton Ave, sorry. But it says that's continuing on 6th Avenue and goes along West Houghton Ave at 6th Avenue. The problem with this is I don't trust this because there's no connection between there. If I want to verify, I can go into Bing aerial imagery and see that yes, there is no road that connects the two. So I believe that this is incorrect, and so it should be actually going into 5th Avenue and then turning onto West Houghton Ave after that point. So I'm going to move this a bit out of the way just so I can remove the Bing imagery because there's usually offsets and I don't want to deal with that. So let's check where we're at. We're at Memorial Road and we're right here. And so we need to turn into 5th Street. So we need to put a breakpoint right here, press P. And you can see that there's a big mess that's going on right here because I've created a breakpoint on something that I've already used before. So if I'm selecting right here, you can see that it's coming down here. The bus navigation route is coming here. And then I am missing this connection right here. So what I can do is come up here. I can select this point, click right here, and then insert below the one I have selected. And now this loop is gone, and we're good to continue on our way. Zoom to where we're at. Select the section of the way that we want. And I can see that 5th Avenue, or 5th Street is extending it down too far, so I'm going to deselect and push to the very end. And yes, we are duplicating the road, that's fine. I want to split this in half. But West Houghton Ave and 5th Street are extending right here, and these nodes need to be both split. So you need to select the node and select the road. I believe you need to select the road first and then the node, and then press P. Select the road and then the node, and then press P. And now this is now split into 4 ways. Come back to where we are. 5th Street, West Houghton, and we know that the bus route, if I pull it up again, the bus route's just following along West Houghton Ave the entire way, and then wraps around to the big intersection and turns around into Memorial Union Building after that point. So we're just gonna continue on. Choose right here. See that this is fine. This is the smallest stop right there. That's not where we want. That's a small node. I don't think that should exist. That's fine. Okay. And so this is too long. I only want this little portion of it, so I'm going to control click to remove it, and I'm going to push all of the ones that I want on the very bottom. Take right here, press P to split it in half. Click right here, click right here. And we're back to the Memorial Union Building bus stop. So I'll finish right there, and you can see that this is now a loop. According to this section right here. So if I zoom out, I just want to verify. We're just going to select all of this, and it looks nice. This selection looks pretty good. So we're going to press OK. So I've created a relation with the roads that we want. If I right click this and click select members, you can see that now it's highlighted again. And if I hover over it, it won't disappear. If I right click and click select relation, it's all good as well. Now, the thing is, this relation is fine and all, but I want to add bus stops to it. So I can right click and go back to the relation editor and start adding bus stops. So this shuttle stop is for the actual shuttle. This Amtrak bus stop is not part of it. So we're going to insert this at the very top, and you want to keep this role as platform. If we go to the bus wiki, it says somewhere in here that you want it to be a platform. I don't remember where, but it's if you're interested on exact details of the buses and exactly what the bus stops, the tags that you want on the bus stops, I would look at this wiki and read it. It has some good explanations of what these ought to be. in this case for this tutorial, you can just read this. It's just wiki buses, and it's a good tutorial and explains what you should be doing. But that's not very important for this tutorial. So we have the platform right here, this bus stop, and the next bus stop is, I'm going to zoom out, the city center. So this is somewhere next to, I think this is Portage Ave. But I believe Portage Ave, this city center bus stop has already been mapped for us. Yep, so it's right there. We can insert it below the Memorial Union building, so that's now in the order. And then after this point, there are no bus stops that have been created, so I'm just going to copy this. Control C, I selected it in Control C, and then we're going to this grocery store right here, Control V, and edit these tags a little bit. So the name needs to be changed to whatever the bus is. Tattages Market. And oops, I am editing the bus relation, not the actual bus stop. So we actually want the city commuter shuttle right there. And I'm going to close out of this node because I'm going to be adding a bunch of the bus stops in one go, just so I don't have to deal with any of that. I'm going to close out of this stuff so that I can see the node tags. So the name ought to be Tattages Market. A network and operator is part of the same network and such. I don't have information about if there's shelters or not, so I'm going to remove that just because I have no proof that this is actually there. And so we're good right there. Now we're going to copy this. Oh, real quick, I don't know if this bus stop is actually right here. Maybe it's in front of the doors. Maybe it's to the right of the doors, to the left of the doors. I don't know. So I would just add a little fix me and say verify location. Just so that if someone wants to come by and verify, hey, is this actually correct? And someone can do this in Street Complete. So I'm going to Control C this and continue on our way. Oops. So we have Walmart right here. And let's go to Walmart. And it looks like the bus stop is already there. So we don't need to edit this. Someone's already done this in Street Complete, so it looks good to go. The next one is Razorback Drive, which is right here. This is Razorback Drive right here. And this bus stop already exists as well, so we don't need to deal with that. But I know that these bus stops don't exist. So it's Houghton Ave and 4th Street. So we're going to go up to Houghton Ave, West Houghton Ave, and 4th Street is right here. I don't know where it is, so we're going to keep this fix me, Houghton Ave and 4th Street. I'll just place it right there. Next one is Bridge Street. We're just going to go through all of these streets. Bridge Street's right there. Houghton County Courthouse is the next one, which surprisingly enough is in front of the Houghton County Courthouse, which is right here. It might be at the bus stop or stop sign, I'm not really sure. Houghton County Courthouse. Next one is Houghton Ave and Portage Street. That's right here. Franklin is the next, so copy this. Franklin's right there. Agate, Emerald, Garnet are the last three. So agate's right here. Emerald is right here. And Garnet is the last one right here. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my relation, this route right here, open it up, and I'm going to start adding all these bus stops into it. So I'm going to zoom into the city center and just continue on our way. Go to this marketplace. We're just going to select it and select all of them in one push. So shift to Walmart is next. This Razorback bus stop is after that. That's the street. 4th, Bridge, Courthouse, Portage, Franklin, Agate, Emerald, Garnet, and we will push them underneath the one that we have selected. So there we go. We have a bus route with bus stops selected, and if you want to push this in, you can upload it. And we're going to ignore these missing tags. Let's see if we're verifying. I just want to verify that there's no issues with the actual route that we created. And I don't see any issues specifically with that route, so I think it's good. These are just things about the roads. So if you want to upload it, that would be the way to go about it. If you come back, you can see that we've edited these streets a little bit and modified a bit of that because we split them in half, and we've added these bus stops and our route, which is the most important part. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to actually submit this. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is actually look at, I just want to bring this over to show you. Yeah, I don't want to save any of this information. I just want to show you now one where I'm editing a bus route that already exists and how to handle major cities. So in my case, the major city that I'm working on is, well, the entire state of Rhode Island. And suppose you want to be editing the entire state of Rhode Island and you're looking at all of the bus routes. In this case, if you were to download all this information, the server will reject this. If I were to click download, it's way too big, so you can't download all of this information. What you can do is do this download from overpass and select only specific nodes and relations. In most cases, this probably isn't edited or enabled by default, but if you go to Edit, Preferences, and somewhere in here there's an expert mode. I've actually forgotten where it's at. So let me go to JOSM expert mode. Come here, Edit, Menu Preferences on the bottom left. Edit. Expert mode. Oh, it's right in the bottom left. Okay, I was blind. So it's right there. It adds a few more buttons on your side menu, but I don't really care about that. All I want to do is just download the state of Rhode Island, and I want to download the bus stops and relations. In my case, I know that the relations all correspond to RIPTA because RIPTA is the Rhode Island Public Transportation Authority, and those have the bus stops and bus routes. And I know that this is the case because I inserted all of these manually myself. So if I click download, should be good. And now the bus stops and bus routes are mapped onto Rhode Island. Again, I'm going to remove the opacity so I can actually see what's going on. And you can see that these bus routes, they're individual bus stops that are not properly connected into a route. So this would need to be extended. In this case, I don't really want to do this because I'm looking specifically at this bus stop right here. This route is, so I select it, it is route 64. Yep, 64. So if I edit it, well, you can see that there's brakes right here. There's a lot of brakes going on, and there's some messed up stuff going on. If I'm curious about other Route 64s, it looks like this route, this 64 does not contain the RIPTA in front of it. Oh, it's showing it right there though. So maybe this route actually just is already fixed, but someone has left an old route inside here. Well, for example purposes, I'm just going to edit this myself. So if I come along, we're going to zoom to, I just want to verify that this is where it's starting. And if we're going along, we can see what's happening. What I like to do is zoom out a bit and then select a bunch and map what's happening. So what you can see is it's starting at a point, it's failing this roundabout because this roundabout is probably a new feature, and it's going down this service highway that doesn't exist anymore, or it's being used for not for actual travel. And then we jump down to the Newport Bridge. So what I want to do is I'm going to take these nodes right here, delete it, and I'm going to connect this section right here that is highlighted and continue on our way towards the bridge. Make sure we click everything. And if not, let's say for example I missed this right here. I'm going to click right here and continue on my way. Select, and I'm going to push to where I'm selected below. I've probably selected too much. I believe this last one was this route 31.8. As you can see, it's highlighted in green, so I have it selected twice. But if I click yes and deselect, you can now see that this is black or red right next to each other. So I just want to delete that, and I have a nice black line that's connecting everything together. There's still a break right here, which I believe that's the one I purposely created. So we're just going to click right here because this is the interconnecting one between these two nodes. Insert in between, and now we no longer have these red dots. I'm going to come to the right here. This is the roundabout. Roundabouts go on the right, so we're going to click here. Click around right here, and I believe I clicked too many times. So there we go. And we're going to push right here. Let me pretend that I pushed the wrong area. So I pushed all the way down here, and this is broken. I want it to actually come right where it should be, up here. You can select this, do Control X to cut, and select the point that you want, and it'll insert below the one you have selected. So if I can press Control V, oh, maybe it's the one above. So I can just click and drag to move these nodes around to make sure that these lines are all in black. So let's come to this next break. We come along here. What happened here? What is going on? We're checking, and it looks like someone split this relation or split this road but did not edit the relations. So So if I select here, insert, I'm not sure why this is being referred to twice, but that's fine. And now we have this black point. So I'm going to come here, see what's happening. Why is this being selected twice? Looks like someone tacked on these extra things at the very bottom. So I'm just going to ignore those points for the time being. I just want to verify that the very end should be happening at some bus stop. And if I want to verify that this is correct, we can go to ripta.com/64 and look at the bus stop, and it comes to the Kingston Railroad Station, which that is not, oh, the Kingston Memorial Union. May be correct, I'm not sure. It could be that this bus route has been extended outwards elsewhere. Either way, one other way that we can check is that RIPTA gives us this information right here. And it looks like it stops at this point but continues on to here. So it looks like URI Kingston Memorial Union. So it looks like this bus route actually continues on a bit further. So this is a really old route that someone forgot to delete because the RIPTA routes contain this information, so it should be fine. But for teaching purposes, let's continue on our way. So what's happening here? It looks like, oh, let me continue on to where this break is originally, this next break. So there's just a gap right there. Just gonna click right there, insert in between. Yes, that's fine. There's probably a mess up going on. Oh, there's actually a good point right here. So if I'm selecting multiple, let me deselect everything. If I'm selecting, oops, where did I go? Oh boy, I might have fixed things on accident. I want to fix things. I didn't want to fix things, but I might have fixed it on accident. I will create a mistake for you then. So suppose sometimes someone has these in reverse order. So if I'm zooming in and going along, what I have seen is that things go in backwards order sometimes. So suppose you're turning around and then just jumps all the way over there, and then it works its way back around again. What you can do is select this area that's been inverted and click this button that flips things around. It reverses the order of the relation members, and now this is a nice solid black line going along. So let's continue on what's going on right here. What I find is typically this entire bridge has been missed every time. So if I select right here, making sure that's on the actual correct path, come over here, and it seems to be missing quite a few things actually. Should be good. If I select one extra, you can see that this is now green, so we can deselect it and then insert below. We can come along our way, come to this point, see what's happening. It goes up, goes around this roundabout, wraps around, and where did this go to? What is happening here? Okay, so I think these are additional ones that someone just threw on an extra. Sometimes I see this, I don't know why. You can see that this connection that I had before was added on. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. But it looks like originally this bus route only got to URI Memorial Union, and this bus route is technically complete for the standards of the time at this point. But if I want to continue, and if I were to map this out and get to the final bus station over at Kingston, I can select and just work our way down and continue on our way. It looks like that's a missing link right there. Just gonna make sure we click that properly. And there we go. We want to get off the highway and turn around into here. It might be right there. I just want to verify this bus route is going inbound, so I want to view the outbound. Go in the correct direction. There we go. So we are turning to the right and then going into the route. So there we go. And now we've hit the station. So we can insert below or at the very end. It doesn't matter because we're at the very end anyway. Just going to see what we accidentally hit twice. Looks like it's a roundabout and turning back around again, so we're fine. So there we go. That is how to edit the relations and verify that's correct. If I want to add the bus stops, you can look at these bus stops right here and verify that the route ref is mapping up to the bus number and start selecting them all along the way. This one's really tedious and really annoying, so I will just let you do that. I did it for the Houghton one, so I think this is all fine. So there we go. We're going to deselect that and press OK. So hopefully this is helpful. Thank you.